We all fall and we all have our bumps in the road, but we ultimately, if we choose to, we become so much stronger. And that's what's going to happen for you. Listen to me. Greater is coming. Greater is coming to you. You can do this. It's going to be okay. Life's just now getting good.
Welcome to Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kevin Lowe, and I'm excited to welcome you inside. Why, hello, and welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today, my friend? Woo, baby, hopefully feeling good? Good. That's what I hope. Listen, my name is Kevin Lowe. I'm the host of this podcast, as well as a transformational life and business coach on a mission to be that spark of inspiration that you needed to remind you that you got this, that no matter what you've got going on in life, no matter how hard things may seem, that I promise you, you got this because you are capable, you are able, and you are darn sure deserving of having everything that you can imagine in this life. And well, my hope is that I can be that little reminder, that little spark that says, you know what? He's right. On today's episode 171, I've got some help in doing this by bringing aboard a guy named Brad Dalton. Now, listen here. If you think that I'm positive, if you think that I'm uplifting, well, baby, I'm about to meet my match because I am in the studio with a guy who brings the heat when we're talking about positivity. Because Brad Dalton is a guy who is dedicated to helping the guy who's in the back of the pack. He wants to be that encouragement to the person in the back, who's the person who has the odds stacked against them. They're the person who the rest of the world doesn't think is going to finish first, but he believes that that person can. And so he's going to help that person get to the front. He's equally as dedicated to the person in the middle of the pack, the person who's riding through life in mediocrity, who's just living, maybe not necessarily falling behind, but they're not thriving either. Well, with Brad Dalton on your side, woo, baby, first place is the only place for you. Brad is a podcast host of a podcast called The Best Self Podcast. He's also the author of DNA of a Winner. Everything about Brad Dalton's life is about helping others. Now, where does that come from? What drives that desire? Well, that's what I wanted to find out. And that's what we really dig into inside of today's episode. And we find out that even a guy as positive, as motivating, as seeming like the world must be nothing but rainbows and sunshine, well, it's actually not. Because there's a driving force. And a big driving force in his life is having a son on the autism spectrum. Brad wanted to set out to help his son to have the best life he could have. And by doing so, he's done that, but he's also realized what he's capable of. And he's realized that if I can help my son, maybe I can help other people. And that's why he's on the podcast today, hoping that maybe he can help us, help me, help you. And in turn, that just makes the world a little bit better place for us all. So with that, boys and girls, I want to turn it over to my interview with Brad Dalton. Don't forget, if you are still interested in my Ultimate Spring Challenge, it is underway. The Facebook group is kicked into gear. And hey, I'd love for you to jump in and get a little jump start on your life. Head on over to letshangout.live. That is letshangout.live. And that will take you straight to the Facebook group. Request to join. I'll let you in and you can jump in. You're never late to the party. You're right on time. So don't worry about any of that. I just want you to get some value from the group, get a little boost in your day. And hey, maybe it will make the rest of the year a little bit better. So that's kind of the point of the whole challenge. And I don't want you to feel like, oh no, I missed the start, so I can't do it. No. Don't think like that. The fun is just getting started. So head on over to letshangout.live. That link will be inside of today's show notes. With that said, I introduce you to the man of the hour, Mr. Brad Dalton. Brad, welcome to the podcast.
I am so jacked to be here right now.
Well, I'm excited to have you here, man. It's sometimes, you know what, even us who got some high energy, some positivity, we need somebody else with an equal amount of it. And you were pretty much the closest I could find. So thank you for being here.
I plan on living up to those expectations, Big Kevin.
Oh, man. Well, fantastic, dude. Well, listen. So, Brad, before we dive into your story, I would love to start with one question, and that is, when you wake up in the morning, what is it that lights you up?
Oh, the opportunity to add value and the opportunity to get better. The fun part is the growth part. And, every day our toes touch the floor. We have an opportunity to be grateful. We have an opportunity to add value to others. We have an opportunity to grow ourselves. And it doesn't matter where your starting point is. We all have the opportunity to do those three things. And every day I wake up excited to do all three. I'm going to get the trifecta every day. And that's exciting to me.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. So we look at where you are today in life. I mean, you're host of your own podcast. You're an author, motivational speaker. You're doing all the things. You're spreading this amazing, just electric energy. But take me back in time. Where did all of this get started?
Oh, I mean, there's definitely been pivotal moments that I can touch on. I think I've always, when you really pay attention and you start to reflect, I've been a work in progress from the get-go. I was a low self-esteem guy, but a great kid when I was younger. I feel like I was the guy that gave the playground duty a hug. I was the guy that always said, please and thank you. I feel like I've always been a good kid. I've known right from wrong, all that stuff. But I wasn't a high self-esteem guy. I wasn't always in the popular crowd. I was sometimes on the outside looking in. I sometimes didn't feel like I was enough. And it carried with me some tough feelings for a while. I was kind of like, I was the egg. When you look at an egg in a boiling pot of hot water, the egg itself looks fine. I mean, the color's generally the same. The shape's generally the same, but what's going on inside that egg is it's hardening. And I think I was hardening for a while. And you can't be a soul-based leader. You can't be a love-based leader. You can't be the true servant leader that you could be if you're hardening on the inside. And that was me for a while. And then, I was just fortunate enough. I did have great parents, and I did have some incredible coaches and professors when I was young. Those really kind of started helping me turn the corner. And then I had the opportunity to have a kiddo on the autism spectrum as a parent. And that was a big one for me. If I could say the number one thing that really got me rocking on the success road, on the positive train, on the growth train, would be having a kiddo on the spectrum, because your lens really have to change. Those out there that know or have a kiddo or know someone, they're tight with someone on the autism spectrum, that it's not a revolution, it's an evolution. Things are changing, constantly evolving. What works today might not work a month from now. And the spectrum's a big spectrum, so I'm generalizing. But man, things like clarity and your habits and resetting your mindset and meeting people where they're at and being process-oriented, all those things have to happen if you're going to be successful as a parent, and not just successful as a parent, but yourself. I mean, you're going to go crazy if you're perfectionist, or you're stuck in mud, or you are straight black and white, or any of those things. That's not going to work out too well for you as a parent with a kid on the autism spectrum. It's not going to work out too well of you if you're a leader or an entrepreneur or a leader of people just in general. So that was a big one for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now, is that when things really changed as far as when we talk about your son being born and in being on the spectrum and kind of having this whole new dynamic to life kind of turned upside down. But is that when you dug deeper and started podcasting and started writing books and doing all this, or had that already begun before your son was born?
No, that was kind of the beginning of the journey. I didn't actually start podcasting and writing and coaching globally and all that stuff until after I had a kiddo on the spectrum. That's another story. I didn't really plan on writing a bestseller. I didn't plan on podcasting. I'd run mindset side hustles for years, and I'd always been a big fan of anything with the 6 inches between our ears. I got a more effective at it. I got a more clear vision. When life throws you a curveball, you can sit there and watch it, or you could try to, hit it, smoke it over the fence, or whatever, however you want to phrase it. You could sit there and wonder, wow, that was a nice pitch, or you could do something about it. Maybe the next opportunity you get with that pitch in life. And that's just what I started doing. I started getting a lot more clear vision. I started just looking at life with a different type of lens. And when I started my podcast and wrote my book and all that jazz, I used to say it was luck, but I don't think it was luck. I think I'd been preparing my entire life for it. Things for me and I'm always sensitive when I say this, things for me when COVID hit, that's when a lot of my business started rocking. And it started rocking because I was looking for ways to add value to people. I was looking for ways to still keep in touch with clients that I would normally see face to face. And I was still teaching classes. And I just thought I'll start a podcast. And it was just an attempt to still see people's faces. And the podcast was in 55 countries within 3 months and doing really well. Top 2%. I never did any marketing, nothing like that. And it was just all an attempt to add value to people. And the book was kind of an extension of that. One of Tony Robbins' former publishers had heard the podcast and got in touch with me and said, hey, we'd like to write a book with you. And I was like, how do I turn that down? And so I was like, where do I sign up? And it ended up being pretty awesome. And just everything. I mean, everything, Kevin, everything good for me has happened almost exclusively out of me trying to add value to others. And then, and extending on that, I think life got even better when I really started betting on me and investing in me. I will be honest with you, for the longest time, I just tried serving others, but I wasn't serving myself. I wasn't betting on myself. I wasn't investing enough in myself. I wasn't separating professional development from personal development. And once I started, hiring coaches and getting really intentional at this thing, life got really, really good.
Yeah, I love that. Now, talk to me. What do you mean when you talk about you started really working on yourself? And when you talk about self-improvement, what did you feel like you yourself needed to get to that next level?
Well, I got more intentional. I describe myself as a recovering perfectionist or recovering overconsumptioner. I mean, because I was a perfectionist, I always felt like I needed to do more and collect more and be more. And then when I started to realize that I'm not just enough, I'm more than enough. And when I started to realize that I needed to, they call it, being an inch wide and a mile deep, get them a little more focused, a little more clear, a little more dialed in, and a whole lot more intentional. Stop shooting from the hip. When you're an overconsumptioner, generally you're a good person. It's not like you're sitting on your hands and doing nothing in life. You're getting after it. But what's happening is you're just always collecting and you're never really getting clear. And I think I was shooting from the hip for the longest time. I think I was shooting from the hip because I was just constantly overconsumption guy. I was constantly reading, constantly bringing in information, which is all awesome. But you got to have a system for that. And then you've got to narrow it down. You can't have 25 core values when you wake up every day. You can't have 25 big things that you want to accomplish this week, this quarter, this year. You got to start smaller. And that's what I did. I didn't cancel everything out. I just got really specific and really intentional. And I started recognizing what the habits of a winner looked like, what clarity looks like, what living a life of no matter what, non-negotiable as opposed to optional looks like. That's kind of where I went.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Love it. Now walk me back through when you talked about having your son who had autism. If you wouldn't mind, kind of share with me a little bit more of that story. Just the impact on life, on even just you individually, as well as, you and your wife, as, because a lot of times something like that, people have a hard time recovering from.
No doubt.
Yet you seem as though you were able to kind of use it as a springboard to propel you forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's two directions you can go when life sucker punches you. And the thing is, life's going to sucker punch us all. Life punches us right in the esophagus many, many times. And you could be a forward-minded thinker, what I'd call a positive warrior, a tough-minded optimist, or you can get stuck in pity city and play the victimitis card and just sit there. And said the growth part is sexy to me. The growth part is fun to me. I want to get better. I want to win in life. And winning isn't what's on a scoreboard. Winning isn't an achievement. Winning isn't a thing. Winning isn't an event. Winning is becoming the best version of you, out competing the previous best version of you every day. And so when my kiddo got diagnosed, that was really tough. I mean, full transparency, I felt like I never felt like I've been sucker punched in the gut like I did that moment. When he was diagnosed, oh man, the rest of that doctor appointment, I don't even know how to describe it. I'd been a career educator to that point, and I'd seen how kids were treated that were not typical. And you get looked at funny, you get bullied, you get put at the end of the line, people snicker, these kind of things. And I knew that was coming. And I've always been an advocate for the underdog, for the overlooked. And it was just really hard to swallow. And so for about 15 minutes, the 15 minutes between then and then when I got into my driveway at home, I mean, going home, I was probably going 25 and a 35. The walk to the car was rough. I sat in my car for about 5 minutes and just felt sorry for myself, felt sorry for him. And then a realization hit. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is not going to help him. It's not going to help me sitting here feeling sorry for him, feeling sorry for me, feeling sorry for whatever. What have I got to do? What have I got to do, Kevin, in the next 15 years? He was 3 years old. What have I got to do to give him the best shot at being his best self? And that became the focus. I mean, me focusing on 15 minutes ago was not going to change the outcome or the diagnosis. I could shape the outcome. I can have an influence on the outcome. I can give him something incredible with the help of a lot of people, as you come to find out. But there was no other way. There was no other way to approach it. That was it. This was a one-way ticket to awesome. We were going to create a whole different kind of abnormally awesome, and that was the only plan. And so everything moving forward was about that. Whatever it has taken, that's what we've done. And I approached my life like that. There's only one way to go, man. I'm going to create my own hamster wheel of abnormally awesome for me, for the people I care about, for my clients, for my community. Why would we want anything different? So, that's how I design my day. That's how I design my plan. That's how I design my goals. If what I'm thinking about doing is not going to have me going in the direction of my desired identity, my desired culture, my desired whatever, then I table it. I don't do it. It's not in the cards because, like I said, abnormally awesome is the only way for me. And do I always hit a home run with it? No. I mean, as you know, man, the success road isn't linear. It has all kinds of potholes and bumps in the road. But if you're focused on the success road, if you're focused on the process, those things aren't going to keep you down. because you know it's part of the process. Part of the learning is falling. So,
Yeah. Wow. 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 So powerful. So powerful. Who would you say has had the greatest impact on your life, on the views that you have today?
It's a great question, man. The first person that comes to mind is really are my two kids. I mean, parenting's not easy. Parenting's not easy. It's the best job I never knew I needed, but you just learn so much because life can't just be about you, and your decisions matter. And there's consequences. There's consequences, arguing in front of your kids, or just how your body language. My oldest knows whether I'm happy, sad, anywhere in between, just looking at my body language, just looking at my facial expressions. I mean, people's perception of us is our reality in life, right? So you learn those kind of things from your kids, from being a parent. Like I said, success isn't an option for me. I don't think success is a negotiable. It's a way. It's what I wake up wanting to do every day. And I think it probably comes from my kids. I think there's so many though. I mean, I learn from people every day. I learn from the guy who holds the door open for me as I go into a grocery market. I learned from the person that bought me, the driver behind me that bought my Starbucks last week. I learned from watching the table next to me how they treated the waitress when she was serving them. If you're paying attention, there's so many great opportunities to learn every day. But I'd say the biggest learning opportunities have come from being a parent.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And what I love that what you just spoke to is about learning from people all the time. And because when you talk about that, from the person holding the door to the person buying your cup of coffee, it's a reminder that despite what the media tries to tell us, there's way more good in the world than there is bad.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so here you are, you're a father, you're a husband, you're now an author, podcaster. What do you say to the person who's listening today and they think, wow, how does he do it all? How does he manage all of that? Because I couldn't do it. I can't do it. What would you say to them?
One, you can. I promise you. I may not know you, but I work with people every day. It's not just about me. I mean, I learn from my clients too. I learned from the stage. I learned from podcasting. I mean, I'm hanging out with cool cat Kevin Lowe right now. I can learn from him. I'm inspired every day by people around me. I know you can because I'm just an average guy. I'm just an average guy, but ambitious. But I wasn't always this guy. I mean, you're listening to me speak and maybe you're thinking that this guy's stuff may have been rosy. I was very fortunate. I have really good parents, but not everything's been rosy. I've been bullied. I've been depressed. I've had low self-esteem. I've had family get thrown in prison. My brother got run off a bridge by a drunk driver after serving our country in Iraq. I mean, stuff happens, and I'm not dismissing any of it. But what I'm saying is you can repeat that to yourself. I will, I am, I can do this. I do it by getting intentional. That is a lot of stuff. I'm still a person. I mean, I describe myself as a pogo stick on Viagra. I mean, I'm like, I'm all over the place. You know, I got thoughts. Just you ask me a question, and I got 55 different things. Oh, I just got so much stuff running through my head. I get excited, but I have to be organized. I am uber organized. That's what does it for me. I track my habits. I track my growth in what it is I do with my people. And I do with myself. I track all those things. I track the data. I let myself know that I'm growing. And I mean, if you saw my Google Drive, if you saw my Instagram account, if you saw my email account, you would see that I have a folder for a folder for a folder. And I'm really organized with my thoughts. If I have a thought, if I see something I like, I file it away. and I'm constantly reviewing it, and I read. But I guess kind of circling back, you can. There's no doubt about it. If I can do it, I 100% believe you, me, and we can all do it. We just have to get intentional. We have to surround ourselves with people that are good too. I'll say this, Kevin, like if you hang out with 5 scattered peeps that aren't organized, you're going to be the 6th. You hang out with 5 people that are not confident, you're going to be the 6th. You hang out with 5 people that are positive warriors, you're going to be the 6th. It really does matter who we're surrounding ourselves with. I don't jump on just any podcast. I don't do as many interviews as you might think. I only jump on with positive, growth-seeking, phenomenal human being peeps like you, Kevin. I don't do a ton of these.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I was a chosen one. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, you can listen to you for 5 minutes, buddy, and you know that you're a winner. You're a good one. You're a keeper.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much. Well, listen, before we wrap up today, please tell me, my audience, more about your book and more about your podcast, because I have a feeling that most people are like me and they're thinking, I need some more of this dude in my life.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, if you jumped on Amazon, you could type in DNA of a Winner, Brad Dalton, and there I am. The book is just loaded with the type of stuff that you and I are talking about right now. I'm not trying to introduce a silver bullet theory. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just talking life and talking mindset and talking growth and talking about what the success road actually looks like and what goes into that. And not even a reframe, just wiring and coding our brains to win. I believe that we all have the DNA of a winner, Kevin. I believe that we were born winners, and some of us it's lying a little bit more dormant. Maybe it's because the environment we've been in. Maybe it's just we are stuck in that kind of perfectionist mode where we're a little bit too hard on ourselves. We don't think we're enough. We don't think we matter. We don't think our words matter. And that's all just not true. And I believe that we all have it in us. I believe we all have it in the tank. So yeah, that's a DNA of a Winner. It was a bestseller. And yeah, podcast is called the Best Self Podcast. Best is an acronym, BEST, Self Podcast. It can be found on any network that you can find a podcast on. And it's been amazing. It's been a blessing. I have a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, we invite some pretty awesome guests on. So my coaching programs are slaying it. We have new programs that start every month. So literally every month, I only invite 6 new people in every month. There's only 6 vacancies each month. I keep the numbers really low. I could make a lot more money, but I'm not into the quantity. I'm into the quality. And the relationship is really, really important to me. So that's why we keep that number so low.
Yeah, I love it. Where's the best place for somebody to go if they want to investigate the coaching services?
I tell you what, and that's the other thing. I don't just let anybody in. I have a conversation with them first. So if they want to get a hold of us, my team, you could go to hello@braddalton.com, hello@braddalton.com. We'll speak with you. We'll get after it. And don't feel like you have to be like well on your journey to get in. That's not at all what I was trying to get at. Like if you didn't come to me, that would be an issue. Or not me, could be Kevin, could be anybody. The fact that you're reaching out is an indicator that you're ready, that you have the juice, that big time and greater is coming to you. So yeah, just email me, email us, and we'll get after it. And it's just a 15, 20-minute conversation. And then we go from there.
Well, fantastic. Well, Brad, I have one last question for you.
You bet.
And that is, speaking to the father who just found out that there's something, quote unquote, wrong with his son, and knowing the difficult road that he has ahead of him.
Yep.
And you're walking out to the car and you feel lost, you feel confused, you're mad, you're angry. Talking to that person, what's the one piece of advice you would give them?
Oh man, this would be a great conversation, but I will tell you, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Life is about to get incredible. It's not how we drew it up. It's not how we mapped it out. I mean, this is a sucker punch. but it's only a sucker punch in the immediate. Like you're thinking right now, why? You're thinking, why me? You're thinking, what do I do? And I'm thinking you're pretty dang normal because that's what we all think. You can't possibly know. You can't possibly know. People think they know. You can't possibly know unless you've been in those shoes. And so, yeah, there's going to be more curveballs. You're going to get sucker punched a few more times. But I tell you what, life is going to get so good. My kid on the spectrum, it was his birthday just yesterday. And just thumbing through pictures and memories and moments, teared up about 20 different times. I wouldn't take anything back. I wouldn't. And so it's going to be okay. You're thinking right now, this is a massive setback, and I totally get that. But that moment's going to pass. You're going to have to make a decision. Do I want to create the best version of him? Am I into creating the best version of me? Because those two work hand in hand. It's the double win. You are about to become incredible. The journey you're on ain't going to be easy, but in life, what worth having is easy. And what world do we live in where growth happens in the comfort zone? Nothing. You think about business, you think about driving, you think about learning how to walk, you think about learning how to ride a bike, you think about math, you think about anything. We all fall. And we all have our bumps in the road, but we ultimately, if we choose to, we become so much stronger. And that's what's going to happen for you. Listen to me. Greater is coming. Greater is coming to you. You can do this. It's going to be okay. Life's just now getting good.
Brad, man, you're absolutely awesome. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing just such valuable insights on life, and really this kind of overall reminder that in life, we're all going to have bumps in the road, but we have to remember they're just a bump. And soon enough, you can keep on cruising and keep on enjoying life. And along that way, you grow bigger, better, stronger because of the bumps in the road. So thank you. Thank you so much, man, for just really hitting home on this.
Absolutely, buddy. I really, really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you, Brad. And for you listening today, my hope is that something said today will leave an impact on you, will leave you thinking a little bit deeper about the struggles you're going through and realizing that, you know what? It's all happening for a reason far bigger than you or me can even imagine. But once we can grasp hold of that and understand that everything is working out for your good, well, then it gives life a whole new meaning. It gives today a whole new purpose. And so, well, now it's your turn to turn off this podcast and get out there and take on the day now that you have a little grit, grace, and inspiration. Hey, real quick before you go, I have one last thought to leave you with. I, of course, hope that you've enjoyed today's episode, but more importantly, I want to remind you that I never want you to listen to an episode of this podcast to hear something that I have to say or that my guest has to share and think, wow, I wish I could be like them. I wish I could overcome my own challenges and do the great things that they are doing, but I just can't. Well, friend, that's where you are wrong. You are capable. You are able. And you darn sure are deserving of having all that you can imagine in this life. There's nothing special about me or any guest I have on this podcast. We are all just normal people trying to make it in this life. And so I encourage you to take a look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself that, you know what? I can do it too. Now, of course, if you would like help along that way, reach out to me, whether that's as a listener of this podcast, a friend, or if you'd like to work with me as a coach. My contact information is inside of every episode's show notes, just like this one. So go down, check out my contact information, and reach out to me today. With that said, I encourage you to take on the day every day with grit, grace, and inspiration.